While doing a live stream on the street, I ran into my boyfriend with his arm around another girl. I stopped them and held the microphone directly in front of the girl. "How long have you two been together?" The girl looked a bit shy. "Not long. Just 2 months." I smiled politely. "Then, do you know he has had a girlfriend for 2 years?" "That's right. It's me." The next day, cheating scumbag caught on the street, beaten up by both girlfriends and hospitalized trended online. I am a live stream host who sells products online. On Valentine's Day, my boss suddenly called me back to work overtime. Afraid that Chen Zun would be upset, I specifically sent him a 5200 yuan red packet before leaving. After reassuring him, I hurried to the company. As soon as I arrived at the company entrance, I was stopped. "Oh dear, you're finally here. I've been waiting for ages." "Waiting for me? I thought the stream wasn't until 8. I thought I had misremembered the time. But when I checked my phone, it was only 6:30. The boss changed his mind last minute and set the live stream location at the pedestrian street. This was interesting. I've been in the live streaming industry for almost 3 years, stuck in a small studio every day. An outdoor live stream was a first for me. I got into the car with great enthusiasm. For this stream, I felt a rare sense of anticipation. On the way to the pedestrian street, the person in charge briefly explained the main content of this live stream. Our task this time wasn't to sell products but more like conducting street interviews. By interviewing couples out on Valentine's Day dates, we aim to increase the live stream's click-through rate. To put it bluntly, it was a thankless job. I knew it, my boss never really liked me. Good products never came my way. So why the sudden rush to call me back for a live stream? Sure enough, it wasn't anything good. I suddenly felt a pang of guilt toward Chen Zun. After all, this was the first real Valentine's Day we were spending together in 2 years. Last time, I was too busy with work. It wasn't until February 15th that I realized the previous day had been Valentine's Day. Chen Zun was furious that time. He waited outside my building all night with flowers and gifts but didn't see me. I had worked overtime and ended up resting at the company. It wasn't until I woke up the next day and checked my phone that I saw Chen Zun had sent me dozens of messages. I keep my phone on silent while working, so I didn't notice any of them. I took out my phone and sent a message to Chen Zun. "Hey baby, are you there?" Chen Zun replied instantly. "What's up, baby?" He replied quickly, using affectionate terms and emojis. Seemed like he was in a good mood. Me? Nothing much. Just wanted to say let's have dinner together after my stream. Chen Zun. Okay. Chen Zun sends a cute sticker. Seeing the sticker Chen Zun sent, I was in a great mood. I put down my phone to touch up my makeup before starting work. At PM, the live stream began on time. With a microphone pinned to my chest, I followed the camera into the crowd. Because it was Valentine's Day, the pedestrian street was especially crowded. At a glance, there were couples holding hands everywhere, and vendors pushing carts selling flowers and balloons. After making a round, the cameraman and I were exhausted. The live stream went smoothly. The couples we interviewed were cooperative. The click-through rate in the live stream room was also many times higher than usual. Soon, an hour and a half passed. After interviewing 2 more couples, we could wrap up. The cameraman suddenly pointed the camera toward a couple buying flowers nearby. "Hey, look at this couple, such an adorable height difference." I followed his gaze. A guy at least 180 centimeters tall was standing next to a petite, cute girl. The girl was short and dressed adorably, holding the guy's hand and acting coquettishly to ask him to buy flowers. Because of the crowd and the darkness, I couldn't see clearly, but the guy's back looked vaguely familiar. An acquaintance, perhaps. Curious, I squeezed through the crowd and approached the couple. They turned around just after buying the flowers. I froze on the spot. The man with his arm around another girl, buying flowers, was none other than my boyfriend of 2 years. Chen Zun. Chen Zun clearly didn't expect to see me here. His face was full of shock. The girl beside him spoke first. "Hey, are you guys filming something?" She leaned toward the camera, curious, looking left and right. Viewers in the live stream room are frantically posting bullet comments. "Oh, this girl is so cute. Her boyfriend is really handsome too. OMG. What an adorable height difference. So sweet. Did anyone see the way the guy looks at the girl? The love in his eyes is practically overflowing." I remembered I was still working. My initial urge to confront him was forcibly suppressed. I forced a smile and held the microphone in front of the girl. "May I ask, how long have you two been together?" Chen Zun's face turned pale. He stepped forward to stop her, but it was too late. The girl had already leaned into the microphone. "Not long. Just 2 months." After speaking, the girl was pulled back by Chen Zun. Confused, She thought Chen Zun was just shy in front of the camera. She gently nestled into Chen Zun's embrace, whispering and acting coquettishly. I took a deep breath and met Chen Zun's eyes. Then I asked with a smile, "Then, do you know he has had a girlfriend for 2 years?" The girl immediately looked up, disbelief written all over her face. Chen Zun tried to pull me away, but the girl stopped him. I continued smiling. "That girl is me. Now." Not only was the girl in disbelief, but even the cameraman beside me couldn't help but exclaim, "Holy crap!" The tone in the livestream room instantly changed. The screen was flooded with WTF. Mixed in were plenty of harsh comments. I knew it. "This girl doesn't seem like a good person. Homewrecker, go to hell. Hey! Hey! Why is no one calling out this scumbag? He's the worst, okay? Yeah. Can the cheater just disappear?" Not only that, the number of viewers in the livestream room skyrocketed. But I had no mind to pay attention to that now. All I wanted was to slap these two cheaters. Slap! After a crisp slap, everyone present was stunned. The once delicate and lovely girl raised her hand and left a clear palm print on Chen Zun's face. "You cheating scumbag! You actually lied to me. When you confessed, you made it sound so perfect, saying you'd never been in a relationship before." The girl then raised the large bouquet of flowers she had just bought and threw it straight at Chen Zun's head. Chen Zun didn't react in time, stumbling backward and falling to the ground. He pointed at the girl, his face flushed with anger. "Are you crazy?" Hearing that, I lost it and kicked Chen Zun twice. "I think you're the crazy one. Cheating and still acting so righteous. You scumbag." That day, millions of people watched me and another girl beat up Chen Zun on the street in the livestream. Until someone called the police, and Chen Zun was taken to the hospital by an ambulance. The next day, cheating scumbag caught on the street, beaten up by both girlfriends and hospitalized trended online. Chen Zun was kicked in the crotch by Kiki, the other girl, and lost consciousness on the spot. Fortunately, he was sent to the hospital in time and didn't suffer any major injuries, but he would have to stay in bed for a few months. The police arrived and said our actions counted as assault. They asked Chen Zun, lying in bed, whether he wanted to settle privately or take it to court. Chen Zun looked at me, then at Kiki on the other side. Finally, he closed his eyes. It seemed he intended to take it to court and send both of us to the police station. I was still worrying about how to resolve this when Kiki called her brother. "Don't worry, Sister Chinjuo. Once my brother gets here, things will be fine." But I never expected that the brother Kiki mentioned would be my stern-faced boss. I watched in disbelief as my stern-faced boss walked through the door. Beside me, Kiki, who had been leisurely eating an orange, suddenly rushed over. "Brother." Then, for the first time, I saw my stern-faced boss smile dotingly at a girl. This was even more shocking than catching my boyfriend cheating. "Sister Chinjuo, you Chinjuo." Two voices spoke at once, and three faces stared at each other in confusion. Under Kiki's puzzled expression, I forced myself to greet Tengzi. "Hi, boss." Tengzi frowned at me, then walked straight past me to Kiki. "What happened? How did this end up at the hospital? Are you hurt anywhere?" Listening to their conversation, I felt that despair was almost overflowing. Since I joined this company, my big boss, Tang Zi, never liked me. Any popular products never came my way for live stream sales. Every time I asked the person in charge, I'd get the same response. "No choice, product selection is decided by the boss." Watching other hosts who joined around the same time earn big money by selling popular products, I remained unprovoked. I was filled with resentment. I even considered barging into Tangzi's office to ask if he had something against me. Of course, I never dared to do that. After all, a job that pays tens of thousands a month for 6 hours of live streaming daily isn't easy to come by. After talking to Kiki, Tangzi finally remembered I was still standing there. He walked up to me and stared for a long time. Are you okay?" "Me okay?" "I'm far from okay. My heart is utterly shattered. First, my boyfriend cheated, and now my boss shows up. My boyfriend is gone, and my job is probably next. Could life get any more miserable?" I sighed. "Thanks for your concern, boss. I'm strong and healthy, and my appetite is great. I'm perfectly fine." After hearing that, Tengzi rolled his eyes at me. As expected, his concern was just for show. For him to genuinely care about me, the sun would have to rise from the west. Kiki explained the whole situation to Tengzi. When he heard I had run into Chen Zun cheating because of a street livestream, Tengzi's eyes fixed intently on me. I felt uneasy under his gaze and excused myself to get some air. After a while, Kiki came out too. Seeing my worried expression, she came over, linked arms with me, and comforted me. Don't worry, Sister Chinjuo. With my brother here, everything will be fine. Looking at Kiki's innocent and harmless face, I thought she truly was a young girl still in school. She had no idea how ruthless the workplace could be. I forced a smile at Kiki and went back to being in a daze thinking, should I start thinking about my next job already? About 10 odd minutes later, Tangzi finally came out of the hospital room. He threw a document at me. You Chinjuo, work hard to pay off your debt. Me. As an old saying goes, money makes the mare go. And it couldn't be truer. Tangzi whipped out 500,000 yuans in one go, instantly shutting up Chen Zun, who'd been threatening to have us hauled off to the police station. Once the officers confirmed Chen Zun intended to settle the matter privately, they took a quick statement and left. I clutched a document in my hand, which clearly stated I owed Tangzi 150,000 yuans. On top of that, Tangzi had snuck in an additional clause without my consent. For the next 3 years, I must stay with his company, no job hopping. No resigning. What the hell? Is this any different from an indenture contract? I protested. Tangzi looked totally unbothered. Fine then, I'll just go get the police back and tell them you don't want to settle privately. Okay. I agree. Happy now? Between going to the police station and staying at the company, I'd pick the latter any day. Tangzi cracked a rare smile, but to me, that smile dripped with heavy sarcasm. Let's go then. Go where? Tangzi shot me a glance. The company. Before heading back, Tangzi dropped Kiki off at her school first. Just as Kiki was about to get out of the car, she grabbed my hand and grinned suggestively. Sister Chinjuo, my brother's never dated anyone before, you know me. What's that got to do with me? Besides, with that cold, unapproachable scowl he wears 24/7, it'd be a miracle if any girl wanted to date him. After dropping Kiki off, Tangzi and I didn't exchange a single word on the drive back to the company. I was drifting off to sleep when Tangzi jolted me awake. I opened my eyes, only to be met with his deeply furrowed, thunderous face. You Chinjuo, are you a pig? A girl your age snoring that loud? I scrambled upright from the back seat in a panic. Falling asleep and snoring in the boss's car? I bet I am the only one in the entire company who'd pull a stunt like that. We're here. Get out. Oh, okay. Right away. I scrambled out of the car, only to notice Tangzi had no intention of getting out himself. After a moment's thought, I put on a fawning smile and pulled open his door for him, being the dutiful employee I was. Mr. Tang, after you, all I got in return was a look that said, are you out of your mind? I'm not going back to the company. I muttered a no and shut the door again for him. Watching Tangzi drive away, I wanted to die 1,000 deaths right then and there. Why did every embarrassing thing possible have to happen to me today? And all in front of him? No less. When I finally got back to the office, I found out why Tangzi hadn't come in. Thanks to that outdoor live stream yesterday, my channel had gained 10 million new followers. I was now the company's top live stream sales influencer, with the highest follower count and view rates. Orders for all the products I'd promoted skyrocketed overnight. My supervisor was over the moon, telling me I'd be transferred to the biggest live stream studio with the best equipment and resources money could buy. But I couldn't summon an ounce of joy. Just thinking about spending the next 3 years working under that scowling boss of mine was enough to make me picture a future of sheer misery. I slumped down at my desk, but before I'd even had a chance to get comfortable, my colleague Weiwei came rushing over, panic written all over her face. Yeah, something terrible happened. Hurry and check the trending searches. I pulled up Weibo, and there it was blaring at the top of the trending list. Certain Miss Yu caught seducing boss for a promotion, fired in humiliation. Instead attached were several pixelated photos. Even with the blur, I recognized myself instantly. I knew it. Dressing that skimpily for a late-night street live stream, shoving herself between couples left and right, she's obviously up to no good. It was freezing cold that night. The wind was howling like crazy. I was so cold I wrapped myself in my thick scarf and cotton boots. You could barely see anything but my face. How is that skimpy? I remember now. This woman used to work for XX company. I even bought stuff from her live stream once. Wait. What? First off, I don't even know if this person actually bought anything from me. Second, XX company isn't even my old employer. No wonder she's a homewrecker. Turns out she has a history of this stuff. Oh right, sure. Must have left your brain in the placenta when you were born, huh? Why else would you love spreading such blatant rumors? I scrolled through the comments one by one, so furious I was this close to smashing my phone on the spot. Thanks to the scandal, viewership for my live stream that night plummeted drastically. Even worse, Countless customers who had already placed orders started requesting refunds in droves. I forced myself to power through the stream. That night, one of the products I was supposed to promote was lipstick. Lipstick and beauty products were always my best-selling categories. But as soon as I pulled out the lipstick, before I could even open my mouth to deliver my sales pitch, a flood of troll accounts invaded my live stream. Wow! Still have the nerve to sell stuff here. Which link is you listed under, huh? Sis, where do you get the audacity? Please, just stop embarrassing yourself. Disgusting. Bet yesterday's live stream was all a script too. Homewrecker and proud of it, shameless. Staring at all the vile comments flooding the screen, I felt a wave of dizziness wash over me. Seeing that things were spiraling out of control, the director had no choice but to end the live stream early. Wei poured me a glass of water to comfort me, then asked softly, Yao Yao, did you offend someone lately? Offend someone? My life revolves around work and staying home. I have a smaller social circle than the pocket of my jeans. Who on earth could I have offended? I took a deep breath and tried to think rationally. My first thought was, could this be Chen Zun's doing? But then I shook my head. It didn't add up. Less than 24 hours had passed since I ran into Chen Zun on the street yesterday, and now this from the police station settlement to returning to the company. Besides, whoever posted that trending topic clearly knew details about my time at my previous company. The only problem was, their version was wildly one-sided. Suddenly, one name popped into my head. Qi Mengmeng. When I first switched jobs and joined this company, it just so happened that the colleague who interviewed me was someone from my old workplace. She'd said she'd also just moved over recently. Bumping into a familiar face in a new environment should have been a nice surprise. But as time went on, since we specialized in different product categories, we gradually lost touch. That is, until one team meeting when my supervisor suddenly handed me a product line I'd never worked with before. I didn't find out until right before the live stream that the product was originally assigned to Qi Mengmeng until the boss had suddenly reassigned it to me at the last minute. That incident sparked a huge fight between Qi Mengmeng and me at the product selection meeting. We'd stormed off on bad terms. Back then, Qi Mengmeng had even thrown a threat at me. Just you wait. I'll make sure you regret this. After racking my brain, I realized she was the only person I could have possibly offended to this extent. This is all Tang Zi's fault. Whenever he's around, nothing good ever happens to me. I grabbed my things, ready to storm next door and confront Qi Mengmeng. But just then, my phone buzzed. I picked it up. It was Tang Zi. Did you see the trending topic? Yeah. Come to my office. Huh? Click, click, click. The line went dead. When I reached Tang Zi's office, he was in the middle of meeting a guest. I stood quietly by the door waiting. I was spacing out when I caught snippets of whispered conversation nearby. Hey, isn't that you, Chinjuo? Yeah, that's her. I heard she got fired from her last job for hitting on her old boss. That's why she ended up here. I knew it. XX company is such a great place to work. Why else would she quit and come to a dump like ours? I looked up. It was two other live stream hosts I barely knew. We weren't close or anything, but we'd always exchanged polite greetings whenever we ran into each other in the office. I never thought they'd talk about me like this behind my back. I sighed. Figures. In the cutthroat world of live streaming, it's either you or me, especially in the same company. If I'm gone, their chances of getting promoted and landing better gigs go way up. I was still wallowing in these bitter thoughts when the office door suddenly swung open. Tang Zi stepped out, and right beside him stood Ziyi, my former boss. What are you doing standing out here? Tang Zi asked. I was just before I could finish. Tang Zi cut me off. No need for introductions, I assume. You know Mr. Zhu. Regarding that trending topic of yours, Mr. Zhu's agreed to help clear things up for you. Clear things up? How? But regardless of how he planned to do it, a thank you was in order first. Thank you so much, Mr. Zhu. Zhu Yi just gave me a cool, indifferent glance and nodded slightly. Sensing my confusion, Tang Zi explained, Mr. Zhu's already posted a clarification statement online. He confirmed that there was never anything going on between you two, and that your resignation was purely for personal reasons. He paused, then let out a chuckle. Color me impressed. You Chinjuo. Who knew you had the guts to yell at your boss? You gonna march into my live stream one day too, point your finger at me, and chew me out if you don't like the products I assign you? As soon as Tang Zi finished speaking, Zhu Yi beside him burst out laughing. My face burned bright red with embarrassment. I stammered, and no, of course not. That would never happen. The truth was, I hadn't resigned from my old job because of bad pay or poor working conditions. On the contrary, Ziyi had offered me a very generous salary. But the problem was every product he'd assigned me to promote made me deeply uncomfortable. Like those products I'd only used once, yet he'd force me to lie on camera, claiming I'd use them until the bottles were empty and gushing about how amazing they were, all just to hype up sales and trick viewers into buying them. I'd brought this up to him countless times, but he'd always brushed me off. The other colleagues had all told me to just go along with it. Everyone does it this way. As long as you make money, who cares? But I couldn't bring myself to do it. So the last straw came when I was handed another product I refused to promote. I'd marched straight into Z's office, chewed him out, and quit on the spot. And now, after everything that had happened, he was still willing to stand up for me and set the record straight. I swear, I could have cried tears of gratitude right then and there. A few days passed after the trending topic died down, but my livestream viewership didn't bounce back. It only kept getting worse. Worse than it had ever been before. To make matters worse, rumors about me started spreading like wildfire around the company. Some people claimed they'd seen me walking out of the boss's office with red, puffy eyes, definitely up to no good. I swear to God, I wanted to scream. For the record, my eyes were red that day because I was so touched by Mr. Zhu's kindness that I'd cried a little. How on earth did that get twisted into something scandalous? But after a while, I stopped caring. I'd always been a nobody in the company anyway. I was here to make money, not to make friends or curry favor with anyone. With that mindset, I kept showing up to work on time every day, doing my job as usual. But slowly, things started going wrong. No one bothered to prepare the products for my live streams anymore. Whenever I asked, they'd just mumble, "Oops, forgot." I'd end up scrambling to get everything ready at the last minute, right before going live. Then, problems started cropping up during my streams nonstop. My co-host would grab the wrong products, the team would post the wrong product links, and once, most outrageously of all, the keys to the live stream studio went missing right before we were supposed to start broadcasting. I was left sitting outside the studio door, helpless and panicking. Thankfully, Tangzi happened to be doing a random office check that day and found me. Otherwise, that live stream would have been yet another disaster. It was obvious everyone in the studio was just waiting for me to mess up, eager to watch me fall flat on my face. After the stream ended that night, I locked myself in the bathroom and cried for a long time. I didn't come out until everyone else had left the office for the day. I packed up my things, ready to head home, when I noticed the lights were still on in Tangzi's office. Curiosity got the better of me. I just wanted to peek through the door for a second. But the door wasn't even fully closed. I lost my balance and stumbled right inside, crashing to the floor with a loud thud. I lay there on the ground, staring up into Tangzi's eyes. He was lounging in his office chair, spacing out, and now he was looking right back at me. I was so embarrassed I wanted to book a one-way ticket to Mars and never come back. But Tangzi didn't seem the least bit surprised by my sudden entrance. He hauled me up off the floor in one swift motion, and his first words made me instantly regret my moment of curiosity. "Done crying? I passed by the bathroom earlier. Your sobbing was loud enough to make me think the place was haunted. Why did I even bother expecting anything nice to come out of his mouth?" I threw my hands up in defeat. "Fine. You got me. I'm a walking disaster. Everything that can go wrong does go wrong for me." With that, I plopped down on his sofa without a second thought, grabbed the bottle of water off his desk, and chugged it down in one go. My throat was parched from all that crying. Tangzi stared at me for a long moment, then suddenly burst into a loud, booming laugh. His laughter only made me more irritable. I jumped up, ready to storm out. But he called out to me, "You Chinjuo, you're upset, aren't you? Because you never get to promote the so-called hit products like everyone else? You think it's unfair?" I'd been holding it in for so long his question was like pouring gasoline on a fire. I spun around on my heel, pointed my finger straight at his face, and snapped, "Yes, you promised everyone equal access to resources. So why does everyone else get to sell the top-selling, high-commission products, while I get stuck with the boring stuff every single time?" Tangzi's expression suddenly turned serious. Instead of answering, he shot me a question right back. "You Chinjuo, do you remember what you said during your job interview here? You said you'd never sell products that went against your conscience. You said you wanted to be an honest, trustworthy live stream host. You said you hoped every product that left your studio was useful, actually useful, and worth the money people spent on it." He paused, then continued, his voice firm. "Think about it. Every product I've assigned you hasn't each and every one of them been a reputable, quality brand. They might not make you as much money as those flashy hit products peddled by others, but they're not exactly unprofitable either." He leaned forward slightly, locking eyes with me. You Chinjuo, at the end of the day, do you want the money, or do you want to keep your conscience? As I was leaving, Tangzi told me, stop overthinking it. Just focus on doing your own thing well. When I returned to the company the next day, I found all the products for the live stream were already prepared. My co-host walked up to me holding a cup of coffee, her face full of apology. I'm so sorry, Chinjuo. I messed up before. Please don't hold it against me. I knew in my heart that Tangzi must have had a hand in this. Taking the coffee, I forced a small smile. It's fine. Everyone makes mistakes at work, right? Yes, exactly. I knew you were the nicest person, Chinjuo. I promise I'll cooperate with you properly from now on, and there won't be any more problems. I nodded and turned back to the camera to start preparing for the day's broadcast. Right before going live, Tangzi sent me a text message. Good luck with the stream. Whether it was because of his words or not, the live stream that day went surprisingly smoothly. All the stock that had been piling up, which I'd been worried wouldn't sell, was snapped up in no time. So as soon as the stream ended, I texted Tangzi back. Thanks. The stream really went well today. He replied instantly. For once, I was in a great mood. I decided to treat myself to a nice dinner after work to celebrate. Just as I packed up my things and walked out of the live stream studio, I ran straight into Ki Mengmeng, who was carrying a box of her belongings out of the next studio over. I'd planned to just walk past her without a word, but she stepped forward first to block my path. You Chinjuo, you call yourself a fox trying to seduce the boss, and you still dare to deny it. Shameless! Her words drew a crowd of our colleagues over. Ki Mengmeng took another step closer, leaning in until her face was inches from mine, and went on sneering. The boss fired me. Are you happy now? Fired? I glanced at the box in her hands and had to hold back a laugh. So she was packing up her stuff to get out? I crossed my arms, looking at her with amusement. I was actually wondering who spread those rumors about me. Now it seems my guess was spot on. Ki Mengmeng, do you really think you can spread lies online with no consequences just because the internet is anonymous? Whispers broke out among the onlookers. Could this be about that trending topic a while back? Probably. I heard this Ki Mengmeng got fired from her last company for forming cliques and stirring up trouble. She's so young, how can she be so malicious? As more and more people gathered around, Ki Mengmeng started to squirm uncomfortably. You Chinjuo, I saw you go into the boss's office last night. Oh, and? A voice shot back from the crowd. I turned around and saw Tangzi pushing his way through the onlookers toward us. Are you trying to spread rumors about her seducing me again? Ki Mengmeng paled, panic written all over her face. No, Mr. Tang, that's not what I meant. Tangzi turned to face the rest of the crowd, his voice cold and firm. Ki Mengmeng has been spreading false rumors about other hosts, which has severely damaged the company's reputation and caused significant losses. After a meeting, the company has decided to terminate her employment immediately. With that, he turned back to Ki Mengmeng, his gaze sharp. Do you have any objections? Ki Mengmeng bit her lower lip, her head hanging low as tears welled up in her eyes. If not, then please leave the premises at once. Once Ki Mengmeng was gone, the crowd dispersed too. I felt a sudden wave of boredom and turned to leave, only to be stopped by Tangzi's voice. You Chinjuo. I looked at him, waiting for him to continue. Tangzi paused for a moment, as if hesitating over something important. Would you like to have dinner with me? Huh? Was it just my imagination? Or did Tangzi actually look a little shy when he said that? Days passed, and my live stream gradually got back on track. After all the ups and downs I'd been through, I finally realized that simplicity is the true essence of happiness. Everything else is just superficial. Take the cake sitting in front of me right now, for example. It's my favorite Black Forest chocolate cake. Not that that's the point though. The real point is it was a gift from Tangzi. I still remember how Kiki grinned at me suggestively when she handed it to me, just like she did that day in the car. Sister Chinjuo, my brother's been on a business trip lately, but he asked me to bring you this cake. Me? It's true that I hadn't seen much of Tangzi at the company lately, but what did that have to do with him sending me a cake? Seeing that I still wasn't getting it, Kiki sighed and face-palmed. Honestly, Sister Chinjuo, how can you be so clueless? My brother's obviously trying to court you. Can't you tell at all? My eyes nearly popped out of my head in shock. You're joking, right? Him like him? Kiki rolled her eyes in frustration. No wonder my brother calls you a beautiful dummy. He wasn't kidding at all. I might not have understood most of what she said, but that part registered loud and clear. Tangzi called me beautiful. I burst out laughing, and the cake in my hand suddenly tasted even sweeter than before. After finishing the cake, I got ready for my live stream. But my phone buzzed again. It was another message from Kiki, this time with a photo attached. I clicked on it and saw a huge box crammed full of face masks. I was about to tease Kiki for hoarding so many masks like she planned to eat them for dinner, when it suddenly hit me these were the exact same masks I'd sold during my live stream. This brand of masks was only available through exclusive live stream channels. You couldn't buy them anywhere else. And they weren't cheap either. Wow, how obsessed with these masks was Kiki exactly. I backed out of the photo, about to reply to her, when another message popped up. See, all of them were bought from your live stream. I grinned, typing out a thank you note to send to her. But before I could hit send, yet another message came through, and they were all paid for by my brother. I quickly deleted the entire thank you note I'd just written and closed the chat window with Kiki, my mind racing. Tang Z bought them? What on earth did he need so many face masks for? I quickly checked the date of the live stream where I'd sold those masks and realized it was the exact same day Ki Mengmeng got fired. I still remember how thrilled everyone in the studio was that day. After the trending topic scandal, my stream had been on the verge of getting cancelled entirely. I recall that as soon as those masks went on sale, they sold out in minutes. So it turns out Tang Z was the one who bought the entire stock. A tiny voice in the back of my mind whispered, maybe Kiki was telling the truth. Pfft, no way. That's impossible. I shook my head hard to clear those ridiculous thoughts from my mind. Forget the fact that Tang Z is my boss, I still owe him a huge amount of money. Him liking me? That's just a pipe dream. I stood up, picked up the half-eaten cake, and tossed it into the trash can. After Tang Z came back from his business trip, he started dropping by our live stream studio every now and then. Every time he visited, he'd bring tons of snacks and treats for everyone, sometimes afternoon tea, sometimes little snacks. Only one thing never changed though, the Black Forest cake. Without fail, there would always be one waiting for me on my desk every time he came. When the other people in the studio talked about Tang Z, they'd all glance at me with the same suggestive grins. Yao, are you really that oblivious? Can't you tell Mr. Tang is trying to court you? I was too busy memorizing my script to bother with her teasing. Oh, come on, you're just bored and looking for something to gossip about, am I? Then why does Mr. Tang come here every day just to bring you cake? He never used to visit the live stream studio this often before. Just focus on getting ready for the stream later, will you? Fine. I managed to shoo my colleague away, but I couldn't focus on memorizing my script anymore. It seemed I really needed to talk to Tang Z and find out what he was up to. As soon as the stream ended, I headed straight for Tang Z's office. I was just about to knock on the door when I heard my own voice coming from inside. Everyone, I've tried these masks myself, and they're amazing. You guys can buy them with total confidence. I froze. That sounded exactly like my live stream from tonight. I knocked on the door tentatively, and the voice inside cut off abruptly. Tang Z's voice called out, "Come in." I pushed the door open to find Tang Z sitting at his desk, pretending to read some documents. "You Chinjuo, what's up?" "Nothing," I said, sitting down on the sofa beside him. "I just came to grab some cake." Tang Z's expression instantly turned awkward the second he heard the word cake. Cake? There's no cake in my office. Watching him squirm like that, I suddenly felt a mischievous urge to tease him a little. "Oh, really? Then who's been leaving a cake on my desk every single day? A fairy godfather?" I made sure to emphasize the words godfather extra clearly. Tang Z cleared his throat loudly, his ears turning slightly pink. I just gave it to you as a reward for working so hard." "I see." I didn't say anything else, just sat there staring at him with a smile. The room fell into an awkward silence. Finally, I broke it. "Kiki told me you bought a whole box of masks from my live stream." Tang Z froze for a moment, then stammered, "I bought them as gifts for other people." "Oh, gifts, huh?" I rested my chin on my hand, still smiling at him. After a long moment of silence, Tang Z sighed, looking like he'd given up trying to hide it. "You Chinjuo, she probably told you more than just about the masks, didn't she?" I nodded. Tang Z opened his mouth to say something else, but I cut him off. "Mr. Tang, please don't make fun of me like this. I still owe you a huge sum of money, remember?" Tang Z's expression turned serious instantly. I shrugged my shoulders and went on. "Right now, I just want to work hard and pay off my debt to you." Tang Z looked like a weight had been lifted off his shoulders until he spoke again, his voice soft but firm. "Then consider this: if you agree to be mine, you won't have to pay the debt back at all." Wait, what? Did he completely misunderstand what I was trying to say? I quickly waved my hands, flustered, trying to explain. That's not what I meant. I stumbled over my words, unable to think of the right thing to say. After a long pause, I finally managed to get my thoughts together. Too much has happened lately, Mr. Tang. I really don't have the energy to play these kinds of games right now. My live stream has just gotten back on track, and all I want to do is focus on my career. Can you understand that? Before Tangzi could respond, I jumped up, opened the door, and ran out as fast as I could. No way. You ran away? After I told Kiki what happened, she looked at me with a mix of frustration and disbelief. I'm serious. Sister Chinjuo, I've never seen my brother act like this around any other girl before. My aunt was even worried that he wasn't interested in girls at all. Kiki took a big sip of her milk tea as she spoke. I sighed. But I really just want to focus on my live stream right now. I don't have the energy to think about anything else. Okay, fine, but be honest with me. Do you have any feelings for my brother at all? Any feelings? I thought back to all the times he'd stood up for me, helped me clear my name from those rumors, and even secretly bought up all the masks from my live stream. Sometimes I couldn't even figure out my own feelings. I shook my head, trying to push those confusing thoughts aside when Kiki suddenly screamed, Sister Chinjuo, look at the trending searches right now. I nearly spilled my milk tea in shock. What is it? Calm down. I leaned over to look at her phone screen, and sure enough, another trending topic with my name was blowing up. Cheating scumbag publicly apologizes to Yu Chinjuo on the street. I couldn't help but laugh. I bet even A-list celebrities don't get on the trending searches as often as I do. I clicked on the topic and saw it was a video of Chen Zun issuing a public apology. In the video, Chen Zun was sobbing uncontrollably, repeatedly calling out my name and Kiki's, begging for forgiveness. Ugh, he's so gross. Kiki made a gagging face of disgust. No wonder my brother texted me yesterday, saying he wanted to get justice for both of us. Kiki trailed off, glancing at me cautiously. When she saw that I didn't look upset, she grinned and went on. So this is what he was talking about. Ha ha ha. A tiny flicker of emotion stirred in my heart, but it was gone in an instant. The video was short, and it ended quickly. I reached out to close it, but Kiki stopped me. Sister Chinjuo, don't you want to read the comments? I shook my head. I didn't need to. I could already imagine all the harsh words and keyboard warriors spamming the comment section. After the trending topic died down, I threw myself completely into my work. I stayed true to my original intention, only promoting products that I'd actually used and genuinely believed in. The company even created a personal social media account for me, where I regularly posted honest product reviews, helping my followers avoid bad products and discover hidden gems. Slowly but surely, my popularity grew and grew. In just half a year, my personal account gained over 10 million followers, making me one of the most influential bloggers online. At the same time, my live stream viewership far surpassed all the other hosts in the company, claiming the top spot. I made it onto the trending searches a few more times over the next few months for various reasons. My colleagues even joked that I must be the most trending live stream host of all time. Before I knew it, I'd paid off the entire 150,000 yuan debt I owed Tangzi. Chen Zun tried to contact me a few times during this period, too, acting completely different from before, begging me pathetically to lend him some money. I'd heard that after he got out of the hospital, he'd gotten addicted to gambling and lost all the 500,000 yuan Tangzi had given him in a matter of weeks. Needless to say, I didn't lend him a single cent. Later, at the celebration banquet held to commemorate my live stream breaking the company's sales record, I was busy toasting the company leaders when my phone buzzed again. It was a message from Kiki. Sister Chinjuo, Chen Zun got beaten up and sent to the hospital. Word is he got addicted to gambling after he was discharged, lost all his money, and ran up huge gambling debts. Ha ha ha. Serves him right. Karma really does exist. I could practically feel Kiki's joy through the screen. I was about to reply when I heard someone calling my name. I turned around and saw Tangzi walking toward me, a bouquet of flowers in his hands. Amidst the loud cheers and whistles of the crowd, he looked into my eyes and said, loud and clear, Yu Chinjuo, I love you. Later, I asked Tangzi when he'd first fallen in love with me. Tangzi smiled, pulling me closer into his arms. Probably the moment I realized, you're worth more than 150,000 yuan to me. The end.